Can truth be experienced? Or is it something greater than us that we submit to? What's greater? Our connection through Torah study or prayer? Torah study, what we're doing now, we connect to God, that the study itself is the embodiment of the will and the wisdom of God. And therefore, our connection is a perfect unity that cannot be found anywhere else. A perfect unity, seamless oneness. Now, even though when it comes to prayer, we would stop our Torah study to pray, which would suggest that prayer is greater than Torah study. Yet the reason we really stop is because, well, we'd stop anyways Torah study. So because we would stop it, therefore, stop now when it's time for prayers. Not that prayers are greater unity with God. That prayers have something more valuable in that it's in the heart, of the heart. But when we're speaking about a union and a oneness with God, there's nothing greater than Torah study. Even a mitzvah is a union with God, but it is sort of like the rider who controls the vehicle, the chariot, in control, but not a complete union. So likewise, the physical body that's engaged in a mitzvah is a union with God, absolutely, a oneness, but not as great as Torah study itself. Again, Torah study is a union. The Torah study is a union that what we're studying is the embodiment of the will, the embodiment of the wisdom of God, and hence a oneness. Okay. Just going back on Clubhouse. So when a person will appreciate and understand how Torah study is so sublime, that such a union is with God, a perfect unity of the infinite light of God. This is not something we can experience. Hence, truth, this divine truth, can't be experienced. The only thing you can do is submit to it. The feeling of connection, our feeling, oh, that's something different. But the actual union, the perfect unity that our soul has, and the garments of the soul, which are the expression of speech and of thought that is engaged in Torah study, that we're truly fused in a perfect unity with the divine will, the infinite light of God. We can't experience that. We submit to it. How? By learning, as we're doing now, with an awareness of this truth and submitting to that truth. What we can experience is that when we ponder this idea When we ponder this idea of this unbelievable union and oneness that we are accomplishing at this very moment, that should bring an awe to us. When we consider that this light of God that cannot be manifest in the world, not in even the spiritual worlds. It's too powerful. But it's openly manifest in our Torah study right now. Manifest, not manifest to us. Therefore, we don't experience it. But it is manifest to our soul that experiences it. But we're not such soulful people that we are experiencing it. We aren't. Please take the Alter Rebbe's word for that. But when we ponder this idea that this is what's happening right now, that this is what's happening to my soul, this union, and the powers of my soul, of the garments of the soul, this perfect union, this should bring us to a state of awe. Because this is then what animates and gives life to the entire being and the entire world through this. And this is the meaning of the verse in the book of Devarim, of Deuteronomy. It says, and God commanded us to fulfill all these statutes in order that we should revere him, in order that we should have awe of him. Now, this idea of awe is not something that all of us are capable, concludes the Alter Rebbe in this chapter 23, that we're capable of all appreciating this and sustaining this idea. But yet, we need to ponder this. What an awesome thing we're not experiencing in the moment, but is actually happening to us in this very moment. And what we do experience, if we think about that, is, wow, that's awesome. It gives us a reference to what we do in our Torah study. That concludes chapter 23.